Michael Jordan is the only player in NBA history who had more 400 career games than games where he scored less than 20 points. He also scored 50 points or more in the playoffs, 8 times more than Kobe, KD, LeBron, and Wilt combined. MJ had the most 40-point playoff games, more than Kareem, Steph, and Dwayne put together. And while they had to get a good night's sleep before facing the Bulls, Jordan could drink and smoke cigars before the game and still drop 40. His airness made it look easy, especially when it mattered most. Jordan hit 28 game winners, including 7 in the playoffs. When the game was on the line, he was the answer.
Game on the line, who would take the last shot?
Me.
And he certainly wasn't the most pleasant teammate. So how good was Michael Jordan actually? And is he really the GOAT? To answer that, we'll start with his genetics and God-given talent. Michael Jordan wasn't expected to be tall. No one in his family was over 5'9". As a 5'1" sophomore, he was even cut from his high school varsity basketball team. It might sound discouraging, but athletic talent ran in the family. His 5'8" brother Larry could dunk. Then came an unexpected growth spurt that shot Michael up to 6 feet 6 inches, transforming him into an unstoppable force. By the time he finished high school, Jordan was averaging 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. But despite his unreal speed and athleticism, young Michael Jordan was still an unpolished gem because he really only played 2 years of high school basketball as a freshman at UNCC, and confidence weren't yet at a super high level. But all that changed in the 1982 NCAA Finals, when Michael hit a game-winning shot against Patrick in winning the national championship. Jordan, North Carolina, has won the 1982 NCAA championship. Jordan described this growth spurt as the biggest turning point in his career. It skyrocketed his confidence and marked the transformation from Mike to Michael Jordan. Over the next 2 seasons, that boost helped him truly excel in basketball. He continued his basketball education under Dean Smith and became a complete player. He averaged 20 points per game, was a consensus first team, and as a junior in 1984, he was named Collegiate Player of the Year. Jordan was supposed to be the first overall pick, while Ella Juwan looked like a star. Jordan was more like a supernova because there was nobody in the league faster than him. It seemed almost unfair how he blew past opponents with just a single step. When the season started, it took Jordan only 3 games to score over 30 and 9 games to eclipse 40. By the end of the first month, Jordan was also the most athletic player in the NBA, with an unmatched vertical jump and hang time when he drove to the cup. It looked like he was a fighter jet, and his quickness served as a runway for his vertical takeoff. When Michael Jordan raised up for a jump shot, it seemed like nobody was ever guarding him because the laws of gravity didn't seem to apply to Michael. Jordan's rise to NBA stardom was so rapid that despite playing only 3 games in the 1986 season due to an ankle injury, he was still voted into the All-Star game. That same year, he delivered an unforgettable playoff performance, scoring a record-setting 63 points against Boston. A display of brilliance unlike anything I'd seen before. In 1987, Michael Jordan led the NBA in scoring with 37 points per game and remains the 5th best scoring output ever, behind only Wilt's insane scoring feats of the early 1960s. But after the Bulls GM, Jerry Krause, drafted Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen, his life would change forever in 1988. Michael Jordan averaged 35 points on 54% shooting with 6 rebounds and 6 assists, winning his first career MVP because he also led the NBA in steals with 3.2 plus 1.6 blocks per game. And after the 1988 dunk contest against Dominique Wilkins, which is considered by many to be the best of all time, some people already started calling him the best player they have ever seen. With Pippen and Grant now on board, the Bulls reached their first 50-win season since 1974. Chicago finally made it past the first round of the playoffs, defeating the Cavaliers, as Michael Jordan put up a staggering 45 points per game. In 1990, it was a similar story. Michael Jordan once again led the league in scoring and steals and was incredibly efficient, but the Bulls still couldn't get past the Detroit Pistons, falling to them for the 3rd year in a row. Over his first 6 seasons, Jordan had won 5 playoff series and lost 6, holding an overall playoff record of 25 wins and 1 loss. So after that 3rd straight loss to the Pistons, the media began to doubt him, questioning whether he could play winning team basketball. In 1989, he was a capable passer, averaging a career-high 8 dimes per game, but Jordan always looked to score first and pass second, and he wasn't like Magic, Jokic, or Doncic, who manipulate defenses with their eyes. Jordan's passing was more instinctive. He usually gave up the ball only after spotting someone clearly open. In contrast, Pippen actively looked to push the ball in transition, generating space and opportunities for Jordan, who could now rely on a teammate to consistently create plays. Yet Pippen's impact may have been even greater on defense. Without him, Michael's game lacked a crucial element. Pippen's defensive presence freed Jordan to roam like a free safety, jumping passing lanes for steals and saving his energy by not having to guard the opponent's top scorer. Michael was at his best, and he won his second MVP award. The 91st Bulls had the best offense in the NBA, and they crushed the opposition in the Eastern Conference. They beat the 76ers in 5, and then finally got their revenge against the Pistons. This time, it wasn't even close, as Detroit was on the decline after 3 straight NBA Finals trips. Jordan amazed the world once again with a legendary move, switching hands mid-air to finish an acrobatic layup, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. The Bulls went on to win the next 4 games, ultimately capturing the long-awaited championship. Jordan's hunger for an NBA ring was finally satisfied throughout the playoffs. Michael Jordan averaged 31 points, 8.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks, shooting a career-high 56% from the field. Jordan is the most talented player in the NBA by far. And the 1992 season was a continuation of peak form for Jordan. They won the series in 6, with Michael Jordan averaging 36 points in the finals after the second finals and the Dream Team experience in Barcelona Pippen, and Jordan came into the 93rd season with an empty tank. The Bulls weren't as dominant in the regular season, but even though he was tired, Michael Jordan still led the NBA in scoring, which was his 7th scoring title in a row. Jordan cemented his legacy as he wrapped up the 1993 finals, averaging 41 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting 51% from the field and 40% from beyond the arc. And incredibly, this wasn't even his most statistically dominant playoff series. At that moment, Michael Jordan was at the peak of his powers, his basketball IQ, relentless drive to win, and physical prowess all coming together in perfect sync. Jordan showed his otherworldly ability to beat an opponent. One-on-one, separate double teams attack the rim, but also to find open teammates. If we compare the 1993 Jordan to his early NBA years, the growth was evident when it was needed. He was pressing full court defensively when nobody could score. He recognized it and carried the Bulls. And when he got doubled, he gave up the ball without trying to be a hero. Michael Jordan became an incredibly strong and skilled player, known for his footwork and signature turnaround jumper. After leading the Bulls to a 3-peat, many believed he was already the greatest of all time. Following the finals, Jordan expressed his deep love for the game, but just a month later, his father was tragically killed, leading him to retire for a year and a half. During that time, he played minor league baseball, but his passion for basketball brought him back with the iconic statement, "I'm back." Though he quickly showed flashes of his greatness, scoring 55 points against the Knicks in his 5th game, his overall performance dipped and the Bulls struggled in the playoffs. Despite Jordan averaging 31 points, the team fell short against the Orlando Magic, led by Horace Grant, and a young Shaq who overpowered the Bulls inside. And in the 1996 season, the Bulls were so good that they became only the 2nd team in NBA history to lead the NBA in offensive and defensive rating, and their plus 13.4 net rating is still the best ever. Their 72-10 record was the best of all time. And of course, Jordan won an MVP averaging 36-4. As for the playoffs, as the 1997 season tipped off, the Chicago Bulls maintained their dominance over the NBA with 4 future Hall of Famers, the league's most accurate three-point shooter ever, and a strong supporting cast of role players. No team could compete with Chicago's precision, operating the triangle offense like clockwork. The Bulls cruised through the regular season with 69 wins. Their playoff run was just as commanding, dropping only 2 games across 3 series on their way to the finals. When the 1998 season started, the Bulls were running on fumes. Pippen had injury problems and disputes with management, and Rodman was more reckless than ever. But they still had Michael, even though he wasn't as athletic as before, and his efficiency decreased, and Jordan achieved basketball immortality. And if this is the final chapter, what a way to close the book. After 1998, Jordan retired for the 2nd time, which was the end of his prime. And we can sum up his career with the Bulls in 3 parts. The first part being between 1984 and 1990, when he was easily the most athletic player in the NBA, a scoring machine, beating players with speed and leaving defenders stuck in the mud. He was the most electrifying athlete the NBA had ever seen, with unreal stats and winning all possible accolades. The first 3. Pat was Jordan at his best, showcasing a level of basketball that's rare and few, if any, have touched. And with his second 3, Pat, the Bulls won 72, 69, and 62 games in the regular season and capped it off with 3 championship rings, losing just 13 games in 12 playoff series from 1996 to 1998. And finally, there's LeBron, who might be the most complete basketball player. And due to his longevity, he is the statistical GOAT. But LeBron only has 4 titles and has lost 6 times in the finals, including the 2011 Dude against the Mavs, where he played a catastrophic series that cost Miami the championship. And that's something that never happened to Jordan. And because of his dominance, a 6-row record in the finals, with 6 finals MVPs, and the biggest impact on NBA popularity worldwide, it's hard to say that Jordan wasn't the greatest player to ever touch a basketball.